I'm bullish on America. I'm bullish on our economy. I'm bullish on the opportunity. I think there's a lot of talent out there. I think there's a lot of business out there. I think that we've got a little bit of a pause, but it's critical that we do not stop.
Honestly, I don't know who the fuck to trust. Is he my friend or my foe? I'm a exit, bro. Yeah, she give me that clear as well. I remember back when I was younger, I was happy. Nowadays feel like no one understand me. I'm good at artists, silly, I'm Bob. Bad bitch, yellow text. Just wanna give me like candy. Run up the racks, track me. I'll run up the racks like an athlete. Big facts, you're the dick, 6 flags. Ball like big face, told her I love her. I ain't really mean that, yeah.
I'd say let's just get guidance from them when they're available to get back on, then we can jump back on.
Yeah,
but I really think like what we're talking about right now is that's the plan. If we're trying, then we should probably also find out what the occupancy rate is right now, so we know how many how we need to throttle this.
Okay, he's asking if we can reconvene in the next 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm good for that.
Okay, so let's shoot for 3 o'clock. We've got access to the Emma, so we've got great communication there. I think that should be turned up. We should be communicating more. If Disney reopens, I think gyms should be open. That's the bottom line. And Disney's going to be fighting to get open. You know that. So we want to stay in lockstep with whatever decision we make, and we want to communicate it, and then just be ready to share as much as possible.
In the meantime, if we could maybe do some social media graphics or even communication.
I think the goal is to get a little bit further than today's problem. If you've planned for a rainy day and you've got, you don't have to be panic stricken, right? And so if you've done what you needed to do with building an audience and your marketing and there's a little dip in business, you've got some things that you can do, But I'm bullish on America. I'm bullish on our economy. I'm bullish on the opportunity. I think there's a lot of talent out there. I think there's a lot of business out there. I think that we've got a little bit of a pause, but it's critical that we do not stop. It's kind of like a shark. A shark is swimming or it's dead. It doesn't stop. And as businesses, we can't just go, all right, we're going to shutter for a few weeks. Change is always going to happen. And those that embrace change and even come to lead change are going to survive. And sometimes when we're talking futuristic language, when times are good, people are like, hocus pocus, hocus pocus, He's a charlatan, But when shit hits the fan, it's nice to have some of that stuff. And what I'm talking about is data and channels and an ability to find people quickly and convey your message. But when things get tight, true brands start to reflect their true colors, and people start to reflect their true colors. We have businesses that say, oh, I want you to send this blast and I need this many things to happen from that blast. Man, they're really, micro marketing. Like trying to micromanage everything. It's like, hey, why don't you just get a little further out? And I think that our business is further than just this 2-week, 3-week, 4-week, 8-week slowdown. I think we've built enough, but we've got to find customers who have a similar bullish thought and want to pound through it. And I think not only have we diversified our business, so not only reliant on hotels and events, but we've got restaurants and bars and construction and healthcare, and we've allowed to do that. But we have not diversified the mindset of the business owner we work with. And the mindset of the business owner we work with is hard charging, aggressive, positive, and willing to get on stage or on camera and communicate. So if you were gonna hit the pause button, or if you're gonna go hibernate and go get comfortable in the couch and watch Netflix and get under, a blankie and get all comfortable, we're probably not the right agency. Because right now we want to get going, and there's a lot of opportunity to do that. I mean, I get people wanting to hibernate. If your business is wow, there's no sense getting out there and pounding on the drum. But if you believe that this is just a momentary lapse of reason, and we will be back and be back strong, which we believe and many of our clients believe, then get an athletic position and let's go. And where do I go? Where do I go? Give me an update. Give me an update. Give me an update on what's going on. That's it. I mean, that's where you start, and it just continues to build. That's why I love the PSA opportunity for people. This is an opportunity for those that really want to do it. Get out there and say, hey, here's what's going on. Okay, we're looking at when they unleash the animal, which is what we are, and our economy as a nation, our will, our determination. You can't cage that. It's going to explode. And when it does, you as a business do not want to be coming out of a long winter's nap. You want to have been positive, confident, and willing, and visible. And then when it turns back on, you'll be right there. And you will pick up where you left off. Bop, 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 bop. At the same time, be smart with your business. Don't be blowing, marketing dollars in certain areas. But figure out a way to stay active. And use the channels that give you the lowest possible cost to reach your audience, which we know those usual suspects. And be grateful that you have an sizable email list, that you have tech subscribers, that you have a Facebook audience that you can activate or not, that you have a Facebook group, you have these channels to communicate if you choose to do so. And that is what experience is. And so an agency that's been through it, a person who's been through it, a business owner that's been through it is not going to overreact. What he or she is going to do is start planning a little further out and be ready. If all you've got in you is to protect today, by all means do that. Because you got to survive today. But if you have the ability to say, all right, make some adjustments, right? And then start communicating, right? And most businesses fall into that category. Whether it's getting assistance from the government, or whether it's tapping into resources that you've banked for a rainy day over the last year's increases, or whether it's less money here or there, you're just doing some adjustments, maybe take a little less, maybe do a little more, maybe double down for a little bit. But the point is that we're looking forward into the future, and we know that's, God forbid, the virus doesn't explode, because that's the variable we cannot sure. all. But we don't go in as athletes preparing for the worst case scenario.
Right.
We go in as athletes saying we want to win this game, and as long as there's an opportunity to win it, we're going to try to win it. And as business owners, we have to try to win it. And so I'm confident with their latest news. But again, another reason for PSAs is continuing updating your community, continuing updating your customers on what's going on. I mean, if it's relevant for you, it's relevant for your customers. If you have 5 customers or 50,000 customers, you've got to update them, communicate with them, and then just keep it rolling. Just keep it rolling.
So, on that note, what is your PSA? You can say to that camera right there.
What is my PSA? Everybody's staring at their phone right now. And for an infinitesimal amount of money, you can be communicating with your customer right now. That's the question. That's it. I mean, what is marketing? It's communicating with your customer. What better time to communicate with your customer? And what better time to have been communicating with your customer? And if you have not been, what better time to start? But at some point, you have to start. Because, you can't just keep saying, at some point I will. Make this the reason why you begin. And enjoy the ride. And if you're not able, figure out how you can. I mean, that's my PSA. Start telling your story. And if you're going out of business, turn off the camera and go home. If you're not, look at the camera and tell people, here we are, let's go. And let's do it. Adopt change. Be ready for change. We just had a customer in here in the event business. They're in the face-to-face business. And we're saying, have you thought about or are you hearing about virtual? Well, yeah, of course, but that would cut off our lifeline, which is the transportation piece, which is the hands-on management piece, the food and beverage piece. But you gotta be smart, and you gotta diversify, and you gotta be thinking about these things before they become critical. So, the events industry, very important now that if you are an event provider, that you are thinking about virtual reality. Whether it's live streaming, whether it's virtual meetings and exhibits, whether it's virtual spaces to show the airiness, these layouts so that you can be comfortable, that everybody's not gonna be jammed in the room, that there's enough space for that number of people.
I think that meetings and what they offer will never go away because the value of a handshake, eye to eye, a sit down meeting,
fist bump,
yes, all that will never go away, period. We know that. But for different reasons, virtual can be so much more important. Getting business done is a great handshake, eye to eye, etc. thing, but I love watching some of my favorite, tech conferences or whatever online. I love being able, I can't make the one in Canada, but I can see everything that goes on, and there might be 10,000 people at the conference, but there's 250,000 people online.
What's the greatest example of this, to your point, is esports.
Yeah.
The Magic can stuff 42,000 people in the arena. Their e-basketball league could have, 150,000 people, concurrently engaged in that game on a nightly basis.
Right.
So to your point, physical attendance at the Magic is critical, but truly the virtual experience is where it hits mass. And we know that Disney and the NBA and others have a virtual component. And I think that anybody that's in the event industry, the live event industry, whether you're in the entertainment industry, the education industry, the convention and meetings, exhibit industry, the theme park industry, they all have a virtual component. So now more than ever, we have to have double-sided brains, and we have to understand how they connect. And that's what social presence theory is. When you look at social presence theory, and do a Google search, social presence theory, what it is taking face-to-face communications, like we're having right now, and digitizing them and putting them out to more people, but they still feel intimate.
Oh.
And that is what social presence theory is. If you can do that, if you can convey a message to a large group of people, but it feel like a one-on-one, you have a connection. And the more connections, the quicker you can get to your goal. And that's the bottom line.